Hello everybody, Naughty Nana Does. How's everybody doing today? It's Tuesday, all day might say. So, how you doing? Doing good? There we go. Well, it's freezing cold out today. Like really cold. So we're going to get into a little Donny moment here in a minute and explain some things. So, if you're new to this channel, give us a thumbs up, won't you? Press the little, like you're already here. It's like you're looking at your phone. You're looking at your phone, you go, that's it. That's it. You'll never work so... Well, I can't say you're going to work hard. I'm hardly working. It's more like it. But anyway, yeah. And all my hangers on. Mwah. Thanks for hanging in. I love you all. Okay, let's get into this, shall we? Oh, Donny. Got a minute? Nana needs to have a word. Now, I need to thank you, Donny. I really do. Now, I was always very aware from the time I was like 4 of just how patriotic Americans were. Were, being the operative word there. Parades every holiday, 4th of July, St. Paddy's Day, Veterans Day. There's a big parade. It's beautiful. Loyalty Day, May 1st, coming up. And Flag Day, June 14th. The flags are waving all the time. I was always kind of jealous of that. Towns everywhere have an American flag flying somewhere on a porch or a barn or on a flagpole somewhere. It's hard to mistake it. Now, us Canadians have always been a little understated, I might say. Like, sure, you might see a Canadian flag in a yard like mine before the pole rotted and fell over. But we'll get a new one by Canada Day, July 1st, just saying. But, you see, Donny, all you managed to accomplish with your tariffs and your threats, your annexation threats, is to pull us a little tighter together. So for that, I want to thank you. Because like you have turned into the abusive neighbor out there screeching and hollering at all the kids, get off my lawn, don't touch this, don't touch that. Baying at the friggin' moon while all the neighborhood stands there gobsmacked, wondering what in the name of hell, watching this guy telling us Canadians that we need to clean our room. I.e. the border, or he's going to take our lunch money. Well, all we wanted was for you to shut the fuck up. That's what we wanted. So we did the 10-second tidy at the border, Donny. We were already in the process of doing that anyway when Joe Biden was still the president. Just saying. But anyways, seeing as we stepped up and did a few more things on that border, we are now seriously seizing a shit ton of illegal guns coming into our country, and most of those are banned guns in our country, but we're seizing them coming in from your country. That's right. And the illegal drugs that are coming into Canada from your country. Yeah, it's not the other way around, Donny. We got less than 1%. Less than 1% of the drugs going from Canada to the U.S. is less than 1%. That's right. And you know what? We're seizing them too. That's your new word, don't forget. Maybe you should take a fucking hint, Donny, and let us show you how it's done. We are only 10% of your population, and yet, by comparison, we are showing up your folks at the southern border, in my opinion, and we aren't even having to deploy our military. That's how good our shit is up here. Now that you want to puff out your chest and talk your lying face off, quite a few of the U.S. allies are turning their backs on you, buddy. They are. They're getting this really foul taste in their mouth because of your stupidity and lack of understanding on how to treat your friends and not tax the shit out of your own people. We, in Canada, are now label readers. That's right. We read the label, and if it's made in the United States, we're going to leave it on the shelf. We will buy avocados and tequila directly from Mexico. We're going to avoid the middleman. Our citrus fruit that we used to buy from you to the tune of $212 million a year will now come from South Africa, Spain. They're the top lemon growers and lemon exporters to Canada now. Can you just imagine how much money we're going to save by not giving it to you? I mean, $212 million because we're not dealing with you. And that's just citrus fruit. Just citrus. That's all. On February 4th, it was announced that over $30 billion on all goods that originate in the United States, which includes poultry. But you know, with the avian flu and all, I don't think we want the poultry, just saying. We're probably better off without that. Meat, organ meats like heart, liver, kidney, all that stuff. Honestly, if we don't have to accept that, that's fine. That's fine, dear. Because we got other stuff. We do. We have beef, pork, and healthy chickens up here to keep Canada going and export to Britain, the EU, Australia, etc. And Canada will probably not buy cereal, fish, or seafood because we have a lot of that in the maritime provinces, I'm just saying, and all the seafood we can want, plus all the freshwater fish that we can use without buying yours. So you don't have to tariff any of that stuff, Donny, because we're just not going to buy it. You can't tariff what we don't have. We just have to budget a bit, but you know, we ain't going to starve up here. Almost $2.2 billion in savings for us right there. Just saying. Railways, locomotives, another saving, $978 million. Toys, games, and sports gear, $932,240,000 a year. Vehicles, $53,310,000,000 saved. And seeing as you fired all those folks that are supposed to be keeping an eye on all your nuclear stuff down there, you know, we're kind of glad, as we'll just keep that out of your little dictator hands. Just saying, because that's another savings for Canada of $38,450,000. Jesus, that savings alone, just on the nukes, would build a pretty big army, wouldn't it? That'd be an awful big military, eh, Donny? Electronic equipment, $14.4 billion. Mineral fuels, distillation products, wow, $29.78 billion. Plastics, $32.2 billion. Pharmaceuticals, $5.17 billion. Yeah. But you know what? Just want to know, like, once we don't send that stuff down, how do you think your rich pharmaceutical buddies down there, how's Big Pharma going to feel if they don't get their stuff? Ooh, Lord. Man, oh man, Donny. I'm thinking because everyone loves us, being Canada, maybe we won't tariff our real friends and they won't tariff us. And we'll have like a barter system. I think that would be a good idea. It's not going to happen, but it'd be a good idea. And I think Canada should bring back the real free trade agreement. You know, just like the name suggests, free for our friends trading. Yeah. There are other manufacturers in the world that are not dictatorial and really want what our very friendly country has to offer. But you're such a feckin' Egypt, you don't understand what's going on. You start waving the 1908 treaty around as a great big gun. You think that's going to make us turn over our country to you? Say the first part of that last word. You know, country, say the first part. That's you. You have no fucking clue what that treaty is about, when it was ratified, or what's in it. That treaty is over 116 years old, Donny. And it was between the former British government, which we later became the Dominion of Canada, and the United States of America. You obviously are catching on to this tariff bullshit, and it's not going to work out too good for you, Donny. So now you're threatened to economically cripple us by saying that we have, get this, an artificially drawn border. We have. It's your border too, you moron. And you said, I view Canada as, honestly, a country that should be a state. You're in a state. That's what you are. You're in a state of confusion. And we view you as a wannabe Putin because you're thinking Canada, Mexico, and Greenland are Ukraine, Poland, and Moldova. No. That's not going to happen, Donny. You flatter yourself. You really do. Do you do this in the mirror? Who's the best looking and why am I? You're not. You're fooling yourself. And, why are you sending your minions to important world meetings, Donny? Even your Saudi buddies. Oh, Lord. They don't want you in their country. You have to be a real disgusting shitheel for MBS not to want you around. That's saying something right there. You couldn't go to Germany, and you couldn't go to Brussels. You afraid Jack Smith might be there, arrest you on espionage and treason? I think that would be pretty funny. But back to the treaty. It was signed under the Republican Theodore Roosevelt and King Edward VII. We don't have a king in Canada anymore. We have a figurehead. When we were still under British rule, so technically you don't have a treaty with Canada under that name. It was the treaty between the United States of America and the United Kingdom. And it took in the boundary between the United States and the Dominion of Canada from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean. This provided the complete definition and demarcation of the international boundary. Through the waters of the Passamaquoddy Bay, it's an inlet of the Bay of Fundy between New Brunswick and Maine, and it ensured that both Canada and the United States of America would jointly survey that border and mark it with monuments and markers. No, Donny, not Sharpies. Another survey followed. The final measurements were done and the adjustments were made because there was some ambiguity. Not saying it was from our side, but did you know that there were other treaties signed with Canada and the U.S.? Well, British North America back then. After the Revolutionary War, after George Washington defeated the British conceded that the U.S. Take all of its territories east of the Mississippi and south of the Great Lakes in 1783, Donny, and the British kept what is now Canada. Then, as both countries grew, land was an issue and territorial expansion triggered the War of 1812. Then when all was said and done, the mutual treaty known as the Convention of 1818 and then the Webster-Ashburton Treaty of 1842, Donny, and the Oregon Treaty of 1846 all contributed to what our border is today. There have been 11 agreements in all that define our border, starting with the definitive Treaty of Peace in 1783, peace being the operative word there. So, Donny, two other treaties after 1908, as sort of like an amendment, is that what you might understand? One was in 1910 and the other was in 1925. The treaty was ratified by both sides in 1925 and has never been rescinded. There is in the treaty a clause that allows that does not allow the United States to withdraw because it was designed not to be revisited. We have happily lived in peace and grace with the United States, lovingly tattooed to our arse. And we want it to stay that way. If you continue to be that abusive neighbor, Donny, we can and will end this cycle of abuse and close our ranks, and we will, as other countries around the world will circle around their friend and family member, and in turn, turn you over to the wolves because Putin, Xi, and Kim Jong-un will pick your bones clean. I'm just saying. But anyway, Donny, Canada loves most of the United States, and I'm going to say probably about 81% of the population, because they get it. So anyway, I love y'all. Don't forget to take care of you first so you can take care of somebody else. Oh, let's see what the fart bag has to say today. Whew, almost forgot. What's he going to say today?
That is so wrong.
On so many levels. Just saying. I think he needs to change his pull-up. But anyway, 99 loves you. Be good, be safe, and please be good to you first. I love y'all.